Coming up on G3.
So the Nene twins are on TikTok, two African-American twins who made up the Savage remix dance from Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion. They met the kids.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And they created a dance, and it has like over 100,000 views on it on TikTok.
So when you say they did the challenge, what does that mean?
It's a dance challenge. It's on
Oh,
TikTok.
yeah.
Yes.
Miss Betty, we might do a dance challenge.
I think it's fabulous. My introduction to hip hop.
My puffs, my brain, my pencil, knots, our edges, lay. Short, long, our inner vein. We rock our hair in different ways. We rock our hair in different ways. Any style we gonna slay. 'Cause every time I whip my hair around and round and round. You can look, but do not touch my crown, my crown, my crown. Hey.
Hi, this is Betty Baye, and welcome to the G3 Good Grief, Good Gossip, Good God. And let me introduce you to my co-host, Miss Gwendolyn Brashear.
Welcome to the show.
And Miss Letty Jo Johnson.
Good evening, everyone.
And tonight, we've got a very interesting subject. My co-host, Letty Johnson, is going to lead this discussion.
So I'm super excited about today's show. We have a very special guest with us today, Mrs. Naree Clayton Taylor. Welcome to the G3 show, Naree.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Yes.
Hey.
So before we jump into the depthness of the conversation, ladies, tonight, I want to spend just a minute or so and just really frame the Crown Act.
We are the creators of the Crown Coalition, and welcome to our ebony cover.
The Crown Coalition is all about creating a respectful and open world for natural hair, and it is a group of incredible like-minded organizations, Black organizations primarily, all working to end hair discrimination. It was founded by Dove, the National Urban League, Color of Change, and the Western Center on Law and Poverty, and now has over 85 incredible organizations all standing together to end hair discrimination.
First of all, let me just break down what the Crown Act stands for. The Crown Act is creating a respectful and open world for natural hair. And so in 2019, there was a study done by Dove on Black women's hair. Black women's hair is 3.4 times more likely to be perceived as unprofessional. So there was a need for an ordinance, right? And the ordinance strives to dismantle those biases in the workplaces and schools. The Crown Act was first passed in California and back in 2019, and so there have been other states that have jumped on board in the passing of the Crown Act as a legislation. And so I would like to just kind of toss it to Naree, and then I'm going to pose a question for all of us to kind of talk about what does our hair mean to us as Black women.
Hi, everybody. My name is Naree Clayton Taylor. I am the 2019 Kentucky Elementary Teacher of the Year. I am the founder and co-director of HHN2L, which is my husband and I's nonprofit, which stands for Hip Hop into Learning. I still work for JCPS and I do Justice Now, and so that is my role. But my real role when it comes to the Crown Act, is to push students to be the change.
I'm a queen, I'm a king, I'm a queen, I'm a king.
I'm a queen, I wear a crown like Dorothy D. I came to get down. Look at me, who I be, Dorothy D.
My students, the Real Young Prodigies, they're a hip-hop social justice group, and they are under our nonprofit.
I'm a king, I wear a crown, just like Robert Williams, I came to get down.
They are the ones that petitioned for this, and I'm just the conduit. I was just making sure everything that they wanted, I was playing Santa Claus. I was helping them, like, this is what you need to do, making a list, and so that's really where I came in. It's really their vision.
I'm Maya Angelou of the century. I rise, we rise, that's our history. 'Cause we're fighting for our lives. This time you ain't winning. Keep the protest going, this is only the beginning. Justice for all, I'm tired of pretending 'cause we're slaves of the...
So Nyree, what is your vision, or what was the vision of the students that you kind of helped to amplify and then move into action?
Well, it really started after they had written a song called Justice for All to protest for Breonna Taylor.
And it was really overwhelming because like there was a lot of stuff about Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and everybody that has been shot and has faced police brutality in the black community. Something that's like what they're listening to now. So being a voice is giving voices to other kids that look like us in our community, and it's giving them an opportunity to listen and learn from people that look just like them.
Justice for all, I'm tired of pretending 'cause we're slaves of the system, so our pain is never ending.
And so,
How old are these babies?
they are in they were in 5th at the time, but now all of them are in middle school and up. And some of them, all of them, I've taught. So I've been with these babies for 7 years. I've been with them a long time. And so after we talked about the song, we talked about Representative Attica Scott's daughter, Ashanti Scott, who protested about Butler's hair policy.
Yep.
And so I showed them that video, and they were just in shock. And so usually whatever it is that they decide that they want to write about, I try to find policy that's connected to it.
It's a real teacher, baby.
Yeah. Yes, on
Yes.
period. And so I was able to say, well, there's the Crown Act. And so we talked about the meaning of that, where it stemmed from, and they had so much pride for their hair that they just couldn't believe that young people were being discriminated against because of their hair. They decided that they wanted to do something to uplift black women, to understand that their hair is beautiful. Then we were able to talk about microaggressions. What is a microaggression? And they said it's shade. It's low key. That's what it is. That's what they said. It's low key shade. They trying to shade because it's not because you're black. It's just because your bobos are too big. You have too many barrettes hanging. You have beads in your hair. So it's not an overt. It's not overt.
So were students, they were witnessing this inside of school?
And feeling it.
Yes,
apparently.
they were feeling it. And so the song that they created was a way to honor and just so girls and young men, because they found out young men as well were being discriminated against. Just to say your hair is beautiful.
Young Prodigies at it again. Crown. My curls, my twists, my puffs, my braids, my tattoo, knots, our edges, laid. Short, long, our inner, fade. We rock our hair
And I'm not trying to talk about India Ari or anything like that. I love her. But I think we need to kind of change that because we are our hair.
What people do not understand is that our hair is our crown. It's our glory. For the African American community, our hair is us. It's a part of us.
For your weave to the ground. It's my culture, it's my crown. But you say it's not allowed. You in my business, don't do that. No cap. So to my culture, with the track.
Whether you choose to wear your hair bald or curly or permed, we are. And so it's really my direct link to my ancestors.
Yes.
In different ways.
My hair is just like me, beautiful, resilient, and full of pride.
This is just a way for us to kind of look in the mirror and have positive affirmations about who we are.
We mathematicians, parting our hair with precision. We look at that, rocking our hair with no permit. Yo, man, crown, I got y'all feeling so
So I think it's important for us to really talk about what does our hair mean to each one of us.
Kicking off the week in a big way, G3 talks about eating for your blood type, a popular idea that some say is the key to healthier living. But is that true? Nurse practitioner and G3 special guest, Carla Jarvis will share what the research actually says, as we discuss what our blood type reveals about our health.
What does our hair mean to each one of us? For me, my hair has always been one of the ways that I have, I'm a strategist. So my hair has always been one of the ways that I have really fulfilled creativity, right? Because I am a creative being. That's naturally who I am. And so because I may not have necessarily been able to do that in other ways, I use my hair. So you may see me one day with curly hair, and the next day you may see me with a different style. Like that is just I've always utilized my hair as a way that I've expressed my creativity and artistic. How about for you ladies?
Well, I'll say for me, it's all about personality. So if I'm feeling spunky, my hair is going to be spunky. If I'm feeling sophisticated, my hair is going to be sophisticated. And I feel like it just lends itself to people getting to know you as you walk into a room, and they can sense that, oh, well, she's a fun girl, right? And that's always been a wonderful thing. And I've always felt like it doesn't matter, how you choose to wear your crown, because your crown is your crown. Nobody should tell you how to wear your crown, what your crown should look like, and what your crown represents to you is just for you. So I'm loving this dialogue. I'm loving it.
Back in the 60s, when I went natural, and I had my afro, and that's what the whole Black Power thing was about back then. And we were wearing our fros. And I remember the first person that critiqued me for wearing a fro was a black man who said that it was awful. And my family took some time to adjust to natural hair because my aunts are like, people just washing their hair and they going outside. You know what I'm saying? So it's also a generational thing. And then my father would always say, your hair is your crown. So I've been bald, I've been fro, I've been, I've worn it all kind of ways. I've been permed, and as a result of chemicals, my crown is a little thinner than it used to be. And I am not alone, because I see a lot of sisters who you can see the damage that has been done by the crowns and even the braids. If you braid it too tight, it'll start pulling your hair back, and we have alopecia and other kinds of things from all the stuff that we have done to our hair.
Absolutely.
So it's not even a new phenomenon. And back then, when we saw Cecily Tyson on East Side, West Side, wearing that fro back in the day, it was almost like us running upstairs to see Roots and to see the Bill Cosby before all of this. Right. On I Spy, because we were so rare on TV, we'd all run upstairs.
She was the first,
see
right?
If there was some black person. So Cecily did it, and other women did it, but it was a part of us making a revolutionary statement about being black and proud. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, and that's what that meant. And I love the variety, but I know that I'm also old enough to see some stuff that I don't love. I just have to be honest with you.
I remember that transition because my sisters, who are a tad bit older, they had the fros, and it was absolutely fabulous. But me growing up, I thought, my Lord, Mommy and Daddy let you do this to your hair? Because that was already a phase that had gone out when I was growing up.
Yes, right.
And then when it came back, I was like, ooh, I'm jumping on this because it is absolutely fabulous. So it does. History repeats itself.
And the struggle is still there.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
just like women were losing their jobs because of their hair, that was happening before too. So it's always been, if you look at a lot of the slave movies, the black women, we got scarves on, we got all kind of stuff. But then when you really begin to see some of the tribes of Africa, and you see the intricate braiding, and you see the stuff that the sisters did to their hair in Africa, and how they made color out of henna and natural clay, and they would do all kind of stuff to change it up because you want it to be natural, but you also, like you said, sometimes you want to make a statement. Like today, I think I'm going to be a redhead. You know what I'm saying? We have those, we have those options. And I think that it's amazing. And I have to be honest and say, because I think I told you all, I really wasn't down with the Crown Act. And I wasn't down with it simply because it upset me that there had to be a law for my hair. I'm like, this offends me because why do I need a law for my hair? That's like I need a law for my blackness. For whatever we look like, they need a law. Every time it's us, we need to have a law. We need a law to vote. We need a law to this. So I was just kind of like, what is that? But I do love that the little girls are
and that's what, and they have been to. What's beautiful is last week. So it's the young ladies and the young men in the group. Last week they went to a session about gun violence, and so they were talking about reparations, and then they were talking about how the Crown Act fits into reparations, and then they said, and because of the Crown Act, now you can't discriminate against us because of the way that we wear our hair. So now what's next? So they were able to, they're able to link, issues that I didn't even think about doing at their age.
When we come to Washington in this campaign, we're coming to get our checks.
Reparations, Martin said we coming for our check. Reparations, say it loud, 1, 2, mic check. Cream, cash rules everything around me. Dream, my legacy, you can't stop me. Coming for our 40 acres, ain't y'all 40 in our paper. Kicking the door, coming for our 40 acres and more.
And so, I'm just proud of them. I mean,
we all are.
It really isn't me. I mean, really,
in some ways it is you.
But I'm able to say, oh my goodness,
but in a lot of ways it is you, because as an enlightened educator, you give them space, but you also give them a platform because you're saying to them, it's okay for you to make that link. Is that what you see? I'm a little bit older than you, maybe, but what you learn interacting, and you are a hell of a teacher. Another group that I belong to, we honored you because of what you were doing with the girls, with the children at Wheatley Elementary. So there is a reason about the importance of educators, and believe me, when these girls become women, 50 years from now, they will say your name.
They say your name. You have made that's the reason influence is so important. You have to understand that we influence in everything that we do. And I think it's so important to what Ms. Betty was saying to you. They will say your name 50 years from now because you've helped to cultivate their level of influence.
Consciousness.
And the representation.
Yeah.
The representation of them seeing someone like them who can excel and help them get to another place in life and excel as well. So representation is always important with our young people, which is just another reason why they will always have a place in their hearts for you and what you've done for them.
And creating those teachable moments. You see?
Yes.
Because every moment is teachable.
Yes,
You
it
think
is.
we're talking about hair, but we're talking about reparations.
Yes.
You think we're talking about hair, but we're talking about discrimination.
Yes.
We think you're talking about hair, but we're talking about microaggressions.
Yes.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we think we're talking about this, but you're also talking about all of the things that we deal with as black women.
Uh-huh.
Everyone is talking about the new release from Dr. Kevin W. Cosby. Look at what people are saying about this book. It will challenge many to rethink the next steps in rebuilding black institutions and communities. Getting to the Promised Land gives powerful thought to the search for new strategic vision for black liberation. A new lens through which to understand and utilize the Bible. A brilliantly thoughtful approach to the reparations debate should be required reading for everyone. A welcome continuation of our education in the truth of our common history and an urgent read for all those who care about the future of our society. Getting to the Promised Land, Black America and the Unfinished Work of the Civil Rights Movement by Dr. Kevin W. Cosby.
About gaslighting. And that's a part of it as well.
Yes.
You know, and specifically you're making waves and ripples right here in Louisville, Kentucky. Right? So Nari, I want you to talk about the influence that the young prodigies were able to really be able to step forward and lean into as far as the legislation.
The larger community directly as they become today's nonprofit leaders.
Like I said, I'm co-founder of Justice Now, which is a program in Jefferson County where we go to different schools.
Here's a few windows into the students' work taking place across the district in elementary, middle, and high school.
Johnson Middle School has teamed up with schools across the district to feature student authors and artists as they produce a full-color book entitled Giants of the Bluegrass, celebrating justice leaders past and present across Kentucky. Knight and Western Middle Schools are both developing their own documentaries, but their own styles and their own themes, and they're using a variety of techniques, including interviews, testimonies, dialogues, and even creating animations.
And so this is work that I already was doing. So I was just blessed to be able to take what I was doing and manifest it into Jefferson, Jefferson County.
Have you all heard this song, My Curls, My Twists, My Puffs, My Braids? Well, the young prodigies have been fighting for the Crown Act.
The young prodigies, they went and they presented. They always do this anyway, but they pitched, they presented to Ja'Cory Arthur, and he said, well, I make laws. And so he said, so let's file the Crown Act. And we said, okay. So they filed, he filed, and it was unanimous.
And this summer, the Crown Ordinance was passed, and in September, they went to the Senate Judiciary Committee in Frankfurt and talked about the Crown Act. We are passing laws.
And they have support from Senator Whitney Westerfield of Hopkinsville, the icing on the cake, who has two biracial kids, and said that he did not think about the Crown Act at first, but now he understands it. And when it comes up to committee, he is going to vote on it. And so now these young people, this rap group,
Right.
It's a hip hop. We're passing laws and stuff. So they are getting ready to start talking to senators and representatives about the Crown Act.
And what's so fascinating about that is, again, you think we're talking about hair, but
Right.
we're really learning how to lobby.
Yeah.
I mean, to teach young people, that's
Yes.
what lobbying is. So it's so much bigger. You know, you start
Yes.
out with that one thing,
Yeah.
and then it goes from something else. And I think that is important, that our people, that our children understand early on. You can lobby what you want.
And it's not just even that, because what did they used hip hop, then they did a TikTok campaign. They created a dance and it has like over 100,000 views on it on TikToks. And so so they're utilizing what they use.
Yes.
They love hip hop. They did a song. They use TikTok. They created the challenge. They've lobbied. They even did a protest. And so what I always tell them is protest isn't enough. You know, protest gets you heard, gets you seen, but what are you gonna do after that? And so this is what they're doing after that.
Can I ask you a question? So when you say they did the challenge, what does that mean?
It's a dance challenge. It's on
Oh.
TikTok.
Yes.
So basically, yes.
Miss Betty, we might do a dance challenge on our
We're not doing that.
There's
Get it like them. Let them do it.
how innovative they are. You want to know how
teach us the
innovative?
dance
How
challenge,
innovative
baby.
they are. If I went
So
with
what
the
is
kids-
the Nene Twist?
Well, okay, so the Nene twins, and
Okay.
so they are African American twins who made up the Savage remix dance from Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion. And they said, why don't you email them and see? I was like, okay. So I emailed I'm telling you, it was just divine. It wasn't me, you know, because the email I sent was trash. It was horrible. It was horrible. And they contacted me back. They met the kids.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And they have two challenges. One is if you want to do the dance. The other one is show different hairstyles and just do different pictures.
Okay, I can do that.
With the phone playing.
Well,
So you could do that one.
I think it's fabulous, and I tell you, my introduction to hip hop, my first favorite hip hop, was I used to live downtown, 120 Street, downtown, 120 Street, Harlem. You know, I'm like, Kumo D. Kumo D. That's how far back I go.
Wow, wow, West.
I know.
Is that Wow, Wow, West? Is that
We know.
Barely though.
Barely.
But I thought Kumo D was just the cute, and I was too old for it then. But I was just like, I used to live downtown. Because I'm from New York, so I was like, hey. And some of it I really love, but the fact that they thought that hip hop was going to be something that was going to come and then it was going to go, and the fact that it's been so transformative, and the fact that you see like the Jay-Z's, you know, coming out of the Marcy Projects. And let me tell you, I know something about the Marcy Projects in Brooklyn because I lived in Manhattan. I went to Marcy. Them girls ran me out of there, so I know exactly where Jay-Z comes from. Okay, Brooklyn is rough. So just the fact that it has had such an influence, and for a long time they called a negative influence because it went through all these iterations, and then you had that stage when it became all the B's and the buts and the da-da-da-da, and then then it was conscious and whatever. So I like conscious hip hop. You know, you know you're gonna rap
And I think
or whatever.
I mean, I think that is elevating conscious hip hop.
And so it's when they're rapping about what's going on, you know, and so they are older. They are asking if they can cuss, you know, and they're older. And so I'm like, you know what? I just have to. If it's your truth, it's your truth. I just want to give them just a platform to be kids. You're a kid. Be a kid. I don't, you know.
You don't want to be judgmental.
Allowing them to be who they are. With no judgment.
With no judgment. Everyone loved Dennis the Menace. Didn't they?
They did.
But
they love Calvin.
Since they asked you,
you know,
see what I'm saying?
Respect.
They have respect for you.
Ladies, it has been such a pleasure. I must share with you the good gossip. So when I was thinking about this episode and what we wanted to talk about and the babies and this lovely Miss Nyree, I thought about one of our amazing young people by the name of the poet Miss Amanda Gorman. And she's known for wearing the beautiful locks and the magnificent braids and the immaculate natural hair. So it's only fitting that I quote her from the last few sentences of the inaugural poem that she read. And that is, there is always light. If only we're brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it. And Miss Nyree, thank you for being the light and for allowing those babies to be the light. And may you take us all to a lighter place with the crown.
And that's a wrap for another episode of the G3. Good grief, good gossip, good God.